Water is life, but what happens when our rivers, lakes, and seas are polluted beyond use? Today, we're taking a closer look at a vital piece of environmental legislation, the Clean Water Act of 2004. The Clean Water Act of 2004 was enacted to protect our water bodies and from pollution, ensure clean and safe water for all, and promote sustainable water use. It aims to prevent, control, and reduce water pollution from various sources: domestic, agriculture, and industrial. Let's discuss the importance of the law that protects one of the most vital resources, water. This is the Clean Water Act of 2004, officially known as the Republic Act 9275.
Good day, everyone. I'm Timothy Andre Giaglus, and I will be presenting you the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, also known as the Republic Act number 9275. It is an act providing for a comprehensive water quality management and for other purposes. It was signed by former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo on March 22, 2004. For this specific law, we will only tackle the sections that has an impact in hospitality and tourism industry. To start with, we all know that water is very important to us human. Mainly, it is used in every sector. That's why the government made this law to protect bodies of water and provide clean water for us to use. The Section 1 or the short title, this act shall be known as the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. Then we have Section 2, Declaration of Policy. The state shall pursue a policy of economic growth in a manner of consistent with the protection, preservation, and revival of the quality of our fresh, brackish, and marine waters. To achieve this end, the framework for sustainable development shall be pursued. As such, it shall be the policy of the state, promote commercial and industrial processes and products that are environmental friendly and energy efficient, to encourage cooperation and self-regulation among citizens and industries through the application of incentives and market-based instruments, and promote the role of private industrial enterprises in shaping its regulatory profile with the acceptable boundaries of public. So, uh, by this section 2, it means the authority should be the one that promotes and make policies in protection, preservation, and revival of the bodies of water. By that, government should promote sustainability that will help unwanted use of our environmental resources. Next, we have the Section 5, Water Quality Management Area. The governing board shall formulate a strategy to coordinate policies necessary for effective and implement of this act in accordance with established in framework and monitor the compliance with the action plan. So, by this, it means that a governing board or a department, which is the Department of Environment Resources, it is mandated to lead in the implementation of the activities under the act. They are the authorities that supervise any action that is done on the bodies of water. That's why establishment that uses nature as part of their business needs to get a permit to operate without damaging the environment. Because we can deny that a lot of businesses doesn't properly comply with authority that can cause pollution to our environment. It's not just the hospitality and tourism industry, or also for those uh, mining, commercial, and establishment that uses the supply of water. Next, we have the Section 7, the National Sewerage and Septage Management Program. Such program should include priority listing of sewerage, septage, and combined sewerage growth, degrading of water resources, topography, geology, and vegetation. Program projects for the rehabilitation of existing facilities such as other factor that the Secretary may deem relevant to the protection of water quality. Each LGU shall appropriate the necessary land including the required rights of way, road, access to the land for the construction of the sewage and or septage treatment facility. So, it means the authority should develop and implement a system for collecting, treating, and disposing of wastewater from household industries and businesses. So, example of those businesses are some are under the hospitality and tourism for such like the hotels, resorts, and other uh, hospitality hospitality establishments. Uh, when poorly managed sewage and septage, it can lead to water pollution, disease outbreaks, and environmental damage. This program ensures proper sanitation infrastructure is a place and maintain and protect the environment from growing human waste. So, with that, LGU should be part of developing facilities the that helps the treatment of water. Next, we have the Section 8 or the domestic sewage collection, treatment, and disposal. Within 5 years following the effective of this act, the agency vested to provide water supply and sewerage facility and or concessionaires in Metro Manila and other highly urbanized cities as defined in the Republic Act number 7160 in coordination with LGU should be required to connect the existing sewage line found in all subdivision, condominium, commercial centers, hotels, sports and recreational facilities, hospitals, marketplaces, public buildings, industrial complex, and other similar establishment, including household to available sewerage system. Provided that said connection shall be subjected to sewerage service charge fees in accordance with existing law. Rules or regulations unless the sources that already utilize their own sewerage system provided further that all sources of sewage and septage shall comply with the requirements of HERID. So, just like the Section 7, the Section 8 tackles proper management of sewage collection, treatment, and disposal, specifically in Metro Manila and those highly urbanized city. Since the population ratio with those area is subjected to many establishments, they must have connected to public sewage system or have their own private sewage system. So if you are wondering what is the purpose of this sewage system, is it really important to have a sewage system? Of course, it is important. Uh, it is very important part of an establishment because it collects all the human waste from and treat it properly from uh the waste that we use from those liquid chemicals that can go to the bodies of water. These things should be treated properly or disposed properly. Uh, LGUs and private establishment or businesses should have a proper sewage system that will collect, treat, and dispose those material property so that they will end up in the bodies of water that can degrade the quality of our water. Next, we have the section 12, the categories of industry sector. Within the 24 months from the effective of this act and every 2 years thereafter, the department should, through due public consultation, revise and publish a list of categories and industry sector for which effluent standard will be provided for each significant wastewater parameter per sector. So the ENR is one of the responsible department uh in this section. So then uh to further elaborate this and connect it to our industry, the hospitality and tourism, uh since we are focusing on that industry that has a vital role on our environment. So the standard with those industry sectors should be properly monitored since they accommodate large quantity of people that uses natural resources. One example of what happened in Boracay. We all know that Boracay is famous travel destination. It is a famous travel destination in our country. Many foreign people flew all the way to the Philippines so that they can see the white sand beach, and it causes a boom in the industry. Many establishment and commercial buildings established within the vicinity of the or within the island of Boracay. So because of big quantity of travelers, tourists, and commercial businesses, uh, a lot of wastewater have been uh, or a lot of water have been used and turned into a wastewater. So, but in the recent years, authorities found many irregularities within those establishments that degraded the quality of water and the environment itself, or the island of Boracay. So, what since they found some of the establishment s- like their wastewater, uh they directly throw their wastewater into the ocean or the bodies of water that made made the made the beach very dangerous for the tourists. So what happened is the government, they halted the operation of Boracay. They closed it for how many months so that they can they can they can redevelop it. So what is the effect of this in tourism industry? Well, first, many employees have been laid off and establishment closed. Most of the business halted in the island that become very crucial to our economy. So what are we saying here is because of improper management, it caused disruption to the livelihood and of people and also for the economy of the country, especially to the hospitality and tourism industry. If we look at it, if we don't really manage properly our environment, it may cause us a large quantity of uh, money, and it can lead to many negative things. Next, we have the Section 21, the business and industry role in environmental management. The department and the LGUs, in coordination with the appropriate government agencies and in consultation with the businesses and industrial sector, including the commerce, shall formulate appropriate incentive for the adoption procedures that will preserve and protect our water bodies through the introduction of innovative equipment and processes that reduce it while totally eliminates discharge of pollutants into our water bodies. Aside from having a sewage system, uh, government also gives appropriate or formulate appropriate uh, should have formulate appropriate incentives for those businesses establishment that preserve and protect the water and innovate things so that they won't waste any water that will help reduce the they help reduce the unwanted use of our natural resources. Next, we have the Section 22, the linkage mechanism. The department and its concerned attached agencies, including the LLDA, shall coordinate and enter into agreement with other government agencies, industrial sector, and other concerned sectors in the furtherance of the objective of this act. The following agencies shall perform tile functioning specified here under. Here are the two sectors that we included uh, that has connection in what we are talking about or in what are in hospitality and tourism industry sector. So it is the DPWH or the Department of Public Works and Highway. Through its attached agencies such as the MWSS, LWUA, and including other urban water utilities for provision of sewerage and sanitation facilities and the effect and safe collection, treatment, and disposal of sewage within their area of jurisdiction. So, it's like the same in the other section. The DPWH is the one who is responsible for building and sewage and sanitation facilities that can be publicly used by those establishments. Next, we have the DOH should be the primarily responsible for the promulgation, revision, and enforcement of drinking water quality standards. So, DOH sector or the Department of Health should secure that the every establishment develop or provide potable water that has a quality drinking water to ensure the health of people. So establishment that should just not serve uh any water. It must be in the standard and it must be quality for drinking so that we can prevent any health issues for the tourists that can lead to many problems. Next, Section 27, these are the prohibited acts. So, number one, our letter A, we have discharging the deposition or causing to the deposited materials of any kind directly or indirectly into water bodies or along margins of any surface water, where the same shall be liable to be washed into such surface water, either by tide action or by storm, floods, or otherwise, which could cause water pollution or impede natural flow in the bodies of water water in the water body. Operating facilities that discharge regulated water pollutants without the valid required permits of after the permit was revoked for any violation of any condition therein. Refusal to allow entry, inspection, and monitoring by the department in accordance with this act. Refusal to allow by the department to relevant reports and records in accordance with this act. Then refusal of or failure to submit reports whenever required by the department in accordance with this act. So those are the some of the prohibited acts. So uh, any establishment should have their proper permit and papers and permit whenever the departments that in charge uh, ask for it. Uh, of course, those establishments should get and be required to have those permit so that that means they know what are what are the rules and regulations regarding the Clean Water Act of 2004. So also whenever there are inspections and monitoring, they should comply to the authority. Then, so lastly, here is the Section 28 fines, damage, and penalty. So it is the fines, it's what will happen if those establishments didn't cooperate with the authority or they did not oblige with the law. So, unless otherwise provided herein, any person who commits any of the prohibited acts provided in the immediately preceding section or violates any of the provision of this act or its implementing rules and regulations should be fined by the Secretary upon the recommendation of the PAB in the amount of not less than 10,000 pesos, nor more than 200,000 pesos for every day of violation. The fines herein prescribed shall be increased by 10% every 2 years to compensate for inflation and to maintain uh the deterrent function of such fines, provided that the Secretary, upon recommendation of the PAB, may order the closure, suspension of development or construction or cessation of operation or where appropriate disconnection of water supply, such until such time that proper environmental safeguards are put in place and or compliance with this act or its rules and regulations are undertaken. This paragraph shall be without prejudice to the issuance an ex parte order for such closure, suspension of development or construction, or cessation of operation during the pendency of the case. So, those are the fines and penalties for the Clean Water Act of 2004. So, lastly, what is the importance of this law? Well, it is very important, especially for the environment and for us people. So this law give us the proper management of our environment, especially the bodies of water where we get our water that we drink. So without this law, uh an establishment will won't be regulated and it can cause a big loss to our country, especially our country is within the bodies of water. Uh, so as a nation, we should B. We should be mandated to and help our environment in protecting it. So, for that, thank you for listening, and that's for the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004, also known as the Republic Act number 9275. Thank you.
Every job, fairness matters. Work deserve protection. Employers needs clear rules. That's where the labor code of the Philippines come in. But exactly does the labor code do?
Let's discuss one of the most important laws in the protection of the rights and welfare of Filipino workers, that the Labor Code of the Philippines is also known the Presidential Decree number of 442, comprising articles that tackles employee relationship person with the disabilities union and serve and charge.
Good day, I'm Ariel Martin Garcia. I will present you the Presidential Decree Code of Number of 442 Labor Code of the Philippines. A decree institution of the Labor Code thereby the revising the and consolidating labor and social law to afford the protection to the labor, promote the employment and human resources develop and ensure industrial place and based on social justice. This law was signed on May 1, 1974 by Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Article 1. Name of decree. This decree should be known as the Labor Code of the Philippines. Employee relationship. Article 3. Declare, Declaration of the basic policies. The state should be afford the protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure the equal work of opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulation the relation between the worker and employee. The state should assure the rights of work to should ensure the rights of worker to be to self-organization, collective of bargaining, security of turner, and just the human condition of work. To promote to maintain a state of full employee through the and provide the manpower training and allocation and utilization. To protect our citizen desiring to the work locally or oversee by the securing of him the best of possible term and condition of employment. To facilitate a free choice of available employment by person, seek work in the conformity with the national interest to, to facilitate the regard of the movement of worker in conformity with the national interest. To, to regulate the employee and alien, including the establish of the regulation and work with work permit system. To strengthen to strengthen the network of the public employee, the Office of Retailization and participation of the private sector in the requirements and place of work locally and overseas to serve the national development object. To ensure the careful selection of the Filipino worker for overseas employment in the order to protect the good name of the Article 20, National Seaman Board. A National Seaman Board is hereby the create which should be developed, the maintained of emphasize the program of Filipino seaman employed the overseas. It should have the power and duty to provide the placement served for seamen, to regulated the supervise and activities of agent or representative of shipping the companies into hiring seamen for the overseas employment and secure the best possible terms of employment for contract seaman worker and secure the compliance therewith the maintain a complete registry for all seaman Filipino. House of Work. Article 82. Coverage. The provision of the title the should apply to employed, it all established and undertaking, whether for the profit or not, but not to government employee the under, manage real employment in the field of personal member of the family of the employer who are the dependent on him for support the domestic helper person in the personal service of other worker who are paid by result as determined by secretary in labor in appropriate the regulation. Article 82, normal hours of work. The normal hours of work of any employee should be not exceed than 8 hours in a day. Weekly rest period. Article 91, right to weekly rest day. It should be the duty of every employee, whether the operating for profit or not, to provide each of her employees of the rest of period of not less than the 24 hours consecutive eight consecutive hours after every 6 consecutive the normal work of day. Minimum wage rates. Article 19, regional minimum wage. The minimum wage rates for the agricultural and non-agricultural employee and worker each and every region of the country should be those prescribed by the regional therapy wage and production productivity boards. The Wage Rationalized Act of Republic number of 6727 provide the framework of setting and adjusting the minimum wage. Employment of women. Article 130. Night work of prohibition. Non-woman regardless of the age should be employed for the permit of suffer to work with or without competition. Employment of women. Article of 138. Classification of certain women of worker. Any worker, any woman who permit of suffer to work with or without competition with any nightclub, cocktails, lodge, massage, clinic, bar, or similar established under the effective control of supervision of the employer for the sustainedly period of the time as the determined by the security of the labor and employment should be considered as the unemployment of such established for purpose of labor and social legislation.
Good day, I'm Errol Ligop. I will continue presenting Presidential Decree number 442, also known as Labor Code of the Philippines, Medical Benefits. To start with the Article 185, Medical Service. Immediately after an employee contract sickness or sustain an injury, it shall be provided by system during the subsequent period of his disability with such medical service and appliances as the nature of his sickness or injury and progress of his recovery may require, subject to the expense limitation prescribed by the Commission. Right of person with a disability under the Labor Code of the Philippines. Handicap workers. Article 78, definition. Handicap workers are those whose hearing capacity is impaired by age or physical or mental deficiency or injury. Article 79, when employable, handicap workers may be employed when their employment is necessary to prevent curtailment of employment opportunities and when it does not create unfair competition in labor costs or impair or lower working standards. Handicap workers. Article 80. Employment Agreement. An employer who employs handicapped workers shall enter into an employment agreement with them, with the agreement shall include the names and address of the handicapped workers to be employed, the rate to be paid the handicapped workers, which shall not be less than 75% of the applicable legal minimum wage, the duration of employment period and the work of the performed by handicapped workers. The employment agreement shall be subject inspection by Secretary of Labor is duly representative. Right of Labor Organization Union under the Labor Code of the Philippines. Registration, cancellation, Article 234, requirement of registration. An applicant labor organization, association, or group of unions or workers shall acquire legal personality and shall be entitled to the rights and privilege granted by law to the legitimate labor organization upon issuation of the certificate of registration based on the following requirements. Registration cancellation, Article 238, condition for registration of federation, national union. No federation or national union shall be registered to engage in any organization activity in than one industry in any area or region. And no federation or national union shall be registered to engage in any organizational activity in more than one industry all over the country. Unfair labor practice of employment. Article 248, unfair labor practice of employer. It's legal for employer in the Philippines to first enter free with employees right to unionize. Second, force employees to not join or leave a union. Third, contract out union work to undermine efforts for formation or administration of a labor union. Strike and lockout and foreign involvement in trade union activities. Article 263, strike, picketing, and lockout. It's the policy of the state of encourage free trade unions, free collective bargaining. Worker shall have the right to engage in concerted activity for purpose of collective bargaining or for their mutual benefit and protection. The right of legitimate labor organization to strike and picketing and of employers to lock out consistent with the national interest shall continue be recognized and respected. However, no labor union may strike and employer may declare a lockout on ground involving inter-union disputes. Service charge under the Labor Code of the Philippines. Holiday service, intelectives and service charge. Article 9.4, right to holiday pay Every worker should be paid is regular daily wage during regular hard day. Expect in retail and service establishment regularly employing less than 10 workers. The employer may be require an employee to work on any holiday, but such employee should be paid competition equally to twice its regular rate. Holi- Holiday Holiday service incentive leaves and service charge. Article 96 service charge. All service charge collected by hotels, restaurant, and similar establishment sh- should be distributed at all the rate of 85% for all covered employee and 15% for management. The share of the employees should be equally distributed among them in case the service charge is abolished. The share of the coverage employees shall be considered in wage. And that's all for the presidential decree number 442.
In a democratic country like the Philippines, real power doesn't just come from the top. It also begins at the local level with barangays, municipalities, cities, and provinces. And that's the heart of the Local Government Code of 1991, also known as Republic Act number 7160. Before this law, many decisions were made only by the national government. Local officials had little say, even in matter directly affecting their communities. Republic Act 7160 changed that through decentralization.
We will be presenting the Local Government Code of 1991, also known as Republic Act number 7160, that affects the hospitality and tourism industry. This landmark law redefined how local governance works in the Philippines by decentralizing power and promoting grassroots democracy.
Go.
Good day, I am Renato Bartolo and I will be presenting the Local Government Code of 1991, also known as Republic Act 7160. An act providing for a local government code of 1991, it was signed by former President Corazon C. Aquino on October 10, 1991. Section 1, titled, This act shall be known and cited as the Local Government Code of 1991. Section 17, Basic Services and Facilities. Local government units shall endeavor to be self-reliant and shall continue exercising the powers and discharging the duties and functions currently vested upon them. They shall also discharge the functions and responsibilities of national agencies and offices devolved to them pursuant to this code. Local government units shall likewise exercise such other powers and discharge such other functions and responsibilities as are necessary, appropriate, or incidental to efficient and effective provisions of the basic services and facilities enumerated herein. For a municipality, tourism facilities and other tourist attractions, including the acquisition of equipment, regulation and supervision of business concessions and security services for such facilities, and for a province, tourism development and promotion programs. Local Development Councils, Section 106, Local Development Councils. Each local government unit shall have a comprehensive multi-sectoral development plan to be initiated by its development council and approved by its sanggunian. For this purpose, the development council at the provincial, city, municipal, or barangay level shall assist the corresponding sanggunian in setting the direction of economic and social development and coordinating development efforts within its territorial jurisdiction. Local Peace and Order Council, Section 116, Organization. There is hereby established in every province, city, and municipality a local peace and order council pursuant pursuant to Executive Order Number 309, EO Number 309, as amended series of 1988. The local peace and order councils shall have the same composition and function as those prescribed by said executive order. Autonomous Special Economic Zones, Section 117, Establishment of Autonomous Special Economic Zones. The established bylaw of autonomous special economic zones in selected areas of the country shall be subject to concurrence by the local government units included therein. Local Government Taxation, Section 128, Scope. The provisions herein shall govern the exercise by provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays of their taxing and other revenue-raising powers. Section 137, Franchise Tax. Notwithstanding any exemption granted by any law or other special law, the province may impose a tax on business enjoying a franchise at the rate not exceeding 50% of 1% of the gross annual receipts for the preceding calendar year based on the incoming receipt or realized within its territorial jurisdiction. Local Government Taxation, Section 140, Amusement Tax. The province may levy an amusement tax to be collected from the proprietors, leases, or operators of theaters, cinemas, concert halls, circuses, boxing stadia, and other places of amusement at the rate of not more than 30% of the gross receipts from admission fees. In the case of theaters or cinemas, the tax shall first be deducted and withheld by other proprietors, leasers, or operators and paid to the provincial treasurer before the gross revenues are divided between said proprietors, leases, or operators and the distributors of the cinematographic films. The holding of operas, concert, dramas, recitals, painting and art exhibitions, flower shows, musical programs, literary and oratorical presentations except pop, rock, or similar concert shall be exempt from the payment of the tax herein imposed. Local Government Taxation, Section 159, Exemptions. The following are exempt from the community tax: diplomatic and consular representatives and transient visitors when their stay in the Philippines does not exceed 3 months. Local Government Units, Section 384, Role of the Barangay. As the basic political unit, the barangay serves as the primary planning and implementing unit of government policies, plans, programs, projects, and activities in the community, and as a forum wherein the collective views of the people may be expressed, crystallized, and considered, and where disputes may be amicably settled. Local Government Unit Section 440, Role of the Municipality. The municipality consisting of a group of barangays serves primarily as a general-purpose government for the coordination and delivery of basic, regular and direct services and effective governance of the inhabitants within its territorial jurisdiction.
Good day, I am Joshua Santos. I will continue the presentation of the Local Government Code 1991. Local Government Units, the Sangguniang Bayan, Section 447, Powers, Duties, Function, and Compensation. The Sangguniang Bayan, as the legislative body of the municipality, shall enact ordinances, approve resolution, and appropriate funds for general welfare of the municipality and its inhabitants pursuant to Section 16 of this code, and it's the proper exercise of the corporate power of the municipality as provided for under Section 22 of this code and shall. Section 447. powers, duties, function, and compensation. Approve ordinance and pass resolution necessary for an efficient and effective municipality government and its disconnection shall enact ordinances intended to prevent, suppress, and impose appropriate penalties for habitual drunkenness in public places, vagrancy, mendicancy, prostitution, establishment and maintenance of house of ill repute, gambling and other prob- prohibited game of chance, fraudulent devices, and ways to obtain money or property, drug addiction, maintenance of drug dens, drug pushing, juvenile, delinquency, the printing, distribution, or exhibition of obscene or pornographic material or publication and such other activities inimical to the welfare and moral of the inhabitants of the municipality. Section 447, Powers, Duties, Function, and Compensation. Regulate activities relative to the use of land, building, and structures within the municipality in order to promote the general welfare and for said purpose shall require that buildings and the premises thereof and any land within the municipality be kept and maintained in a sanitary condition, impose penalties for any violation thereof or upon failure to comply with said requirement. Have have the work done and require the owner, administrator, or tenant concerned to pay the expenses of the same or require the filling up of any land of premises to a grade necessary for proper sanitation. Regulate the establishment, operation, and maintenance of cafes, restaurants, beer house, hotels, motels, inns, pension houses, lodging houses, and other similar establishment, including tourist guide and transports. Regulate the sale, giving away, or dispensing of any intoxicating malt, vino, mix, or fermented liquors at any retail outlet. Regulate the establishment and provide for the inspection of steam boilers or any heating device in building and the storage of inflammable and highly combustible materials within the municipality. Regulate the establishment, operation, and maintenance of entertainment or amusement facilities, including theatrical performance, circuses, billiard halls, public dancing school, public dance hall, sauna baths, message parlors, and other place of entertainment of amusement. Regulate such other event or activities for amusement or entertainment, particularly those which tend to disturb the community or annoy the inhabitants or require the suspension or suppression of the same or prohibit certain from of amusement or entertainment in other to protect the social and moral welfare of the community. Local government units, Section 448, Role of the City. The city consisting of more urban and developed barangay services as a general purposes government for the coordination and delivery of basic, regular, and direct services and effective governance of the inhabitants within its theoretical jurisdiction. Local government unit, the Sangguniang Panlungsod, Section 458, Power, Duties, Function, and Compensation. The Sangguniang Panlungsod as the legislative body of city shall enact ordinance, approve resolution, and appropriate funds for the general welfare of the city and its inhabitants pursuant to Section 16 of this code, and it's the proper exercise of the corporate power of the city as provided for under Section 22 of this code and shall. Section 458, Power Duties, Function, and Comprehension. Approve ordinance and pass resolution necessary for an efficient and effective city government, and its connection shall enact ordinances and intended to prevent, suppress, and impose appropriate penalties for habitual drunkenness in public places, vagrancy, mendicancy, prostitution, establishment and maintenance of house of ill repute, gambling, and other prohibited games of chance, fraudulent devices, and ways to obtain money or property, drug addiction, maintenance of drug dens, drug pushing, juvenile delinquency, the printing, distribution, or exhibition of obscene or pornography material or publication and such other activities inimical to welfare and moral of the inhabitants for the city. Regulate the sale, giving away, dispensing of any intoxicating malt, wine, mix, or fermented liquors of any retail outlet. Regulate the establishment and provide for the inspection of steam boiler or any heating device in building and the storage of inflammable and highly combustible material within the city. Local Government Unit, Section 459, Role of the Province. The province composed of cluster of municipalities or municipalities and component cities and as a political and corporate unit of government. Serves as dynamic mechanism for developmental processes of effective governance of local government within units within its territorial jurisdiction. Local government units, the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Section 468, Power, Duties, Function, and Compensation. Approve ordinance and pass resolution necessary for an efficient and effective provincial government. And its the connection shall enact ordinance intended to prevent, suppress, and impose appropriate penalties for habitual drunkenness in public places, vagrancy, mendicancy, prostitution, establishment and maintenance of houses of ill repute, gambling, and other prohibited games of chance, fraudulent devices and ways to obtain money or property, drug addiction, maintenance to drug dens, drug pushing, juvenile delinquency, the printing, distribution of exhibition of obscene or pornography materials or publication and other activities inimical to the welfare and moral of the inhabitants of the province. And that's for local government code of 1991